أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Prophet Noah. Variations of the birth of Noah. He was Noah ibn Lamik ibn Mitashilch ibn Enoch ibn Yard ibn Mahlabil ibn Qinan ibn Anush ibn Seth ibn Adam, the father of mankind, peace be upon him. According to the history of the people of the book, refers to the Jews and Christians, so called by Allah because they received revealed books, Torah, Zabur, Injil. These names are translated Torah, Psalms, and Gospels, respectively. But the book that are extent, but the books that are extant are corrupt. Of the revealed books, only the Quran remains exactly as it was revealed. The period between the birth of Noah and the death of Adam was 146 years, according to Genesis 5, the Revised Standard Version. Noah was born 126 years after the death of Adam. Ibn Abbas narrated that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him, said the period between Adam and Noah was 10 centuries. Sahih Bukhari, Noah was Sahih Bukhari. Noah was 1056 years was born 1056 years after Adam's creation, or after he left the Garden of Eden. Thus this hadith does not contradict the previous statement from the Prophet, from the people of the book, as it may appear to do. The reader should keep in mind, however, that any statement or narratives taken from the people of the book are not necessarily credible. This was taken from Genesis 5. Noah's people, idolaters. For many generations, those people have been worshipping statues that they call gods. They believe that these gods would bring them good, protect them from evil, and provide all their needs. They gave their idols names such as Wadan, Sawan, Yahuta, Ya'augu, Ya'oga, Nasran. These idols represented respectively manly power, mutability, beauty, brute strength, swiftness, sharp sight, insight. According to power they thought these gods possessed, Allah the Almighty revealed, they, idolaters, have said, "You shall not leave your gods, nor shall you leave Wad, nor Suwa, nor Yaghut, nor Ya'uq, nor Nasr," name of the idols. Chapter number 71, verse number 23 in the Quran. Originally, these were the names of good people who lived among them. After their death, statues of them were erected to keep their memories alive. After some time, however, people began to worship these statues. Later, generations did not even know why they had been erected. They only knew their parents had prayed to them. That is how idol worshipping developed. Since they had no understanding of Allah the Almighty, who would punish them for their evil deeds, they became cruel and immoral. Various hadith describing the origin of idolatry. Ibn Abbas explained, following upon the death of those righteous men, Satan inspired their people to erect statues in the place they used to sit. They did this, but these statues were not worshipped until the coming generations deviated from the right way of life. Then they worshipped them as their idols. In his version, Ibn Jarir narrated, there were righteous people who lived in the period between Adam and Noah, and who and had followers who held them as models. After their death, their friends who used to emulate them said, "If we make statues of them, it will be more pleasing to us in our worship and will remind us of them." So they built statues of them, and after they had died and others came after them, Iblis crept into their minds, saying, "Your forefathers used to worship them, and through that worship they got rain." So they worshipped them. Ibn Abi Hatim related the story Wadan was a righteous man who was loved by his people. When he died, they withdrew to his grave in the land of Babylonia and were overwhelmed by sadness. When Iblis saw their sorrow caused by his death, he disguised himself in the form of a man, saying, I have seen your sorrow because of this man's death. Can I make a statue like him, which could be put in your meeting place to make you remember him? They said, Yes. So he made the statue like him. They put it in their meeting place in order to be reminded of him. When Iblis saw their interest in remembering him, he said, Can I build a statue of him in the house of each one of you so that he could be in everyone's house and could be and you could remember him? They agreed. The children learnt about and saw what they were doing. They also learnt about their remembrance of him instead of Allah. So the first to be worshipped instead of Allah was Waddan, the idol which they named thus. The essence of this point is that every idol from those earlier mentioned was worshipped by a certain group of people. It is mentioned that people made picture sand. As the ages passed, they made these pictures into statues so that their forms could be fully recognized. Afterwards, they were worshipped instead of Allah. It was narrated that Salma and Habiba told Allah's Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him, about the church called Maria, which they had seen in the land of Abyssinia. They described its beauty and the pictures therein. He said, Those are the people who build places of worship on the graves of every dead man who was righteous and then make therein those pictures. Those are the worst of creation unto Allah. Sahih al-Bukhari. Commentary on Adultery. Worshipping anything other than Allah is a tragedy that results not only in the loss of freedom, its serious effect reaches man's mind and destroys it as well. Almighty Allah created man and his mind with its purpose set on achieving knowledge, the most important of which is that Allah alone is the creator and all the rest are worshippers, slaves. Therefore, disbelief in Allah or polytheism results in the loss of freedom, the destruction of the mind, and the absence of a noble target in life. By worshipping anything other than Allah, man becomes enslaved to Satan, who is himself a creature, and becomes harnessed to his own baser qualities. Into this environment, Allah sent Noah with his message to his people. Noah was the only intellectual not caught in the whirlpool of man's destruction, which was caused by polytheism. Jazakallah khair.